Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Soul Journey. My name is Beck, or Anu Ani, the Expansion Doula, and today we are going to be talking about soul family. What is soul family? How to connect to soul family, etc. If you like this video, be sure to hit like and hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future, and let me know if it resonates with you. Alright, let's get on to the video.
The codes of light you carry inside anchor a new way of life. Heart-centered being, awareness and seeing. You are out on the leading.
So, soul family, what is it? So, it is my experience and from my research and just what I've gotten from my guides and shared space, I believe that we are all one consciousness and that souls are more of like a soul stream off of a big river. If you want to check out a little bit more about souls, definitely go check out my video, Your Soul Isn't What You Think It Is. It's from a couple weeks back. So our souls are streams of consciousness. They are eternal. We come down into different bodies to have different soul experiences. So what a soul family is are the souls or soul streams that are most closely linked to your river. So if you imagine a giant river of soul streams and everything breaks off, kind of like if you imagine a tree from the base and then everything branches off, your soul family are the souls that are the closest branches to you. And these souls are extremely familiar to you. You've had many, many lives together, and you can feel that on a deep level. Some people talk about their tribe, be like, you're my brother. These are the types of relationships that could potentially be soul family members. So I like to think of my soul family as kind of like a team or a troupe of actors where it's all the same actors, but they all play different roles for each other. And oftentimes they will come down to have an experience together, or they're kind of working on the same team for the same goal. And this could be through many, many lives. So for instance, if one soul wants to experience a certain kind of experience through different lives, their soul family may assist them in that journey. And so you might want to experience relationships from different directions, experience, one being a parent and then in the next life it reverses, this type of thing. So it's my feeling that your soul family is also transcends, the earth plane. So oftentimes your soul family may come from a similar star system, or you've reincarnated as certain beings from a certain dimension or a certain planet, also, not just from Earth. So you might have come back as different things. Now, you'll also notice that your soul family isn't just here on Earth. I have soul family from the constellation Lyra. I have soul family that reincarnates more often in the ethereal realm. So I definitely, of course, can get the closest to my family who is human with me right now, but I definitely recognize that when I tap into these other frequencies, these other dimensions, I have that same feeling with these other beings as well. And I may reincarnate into that reality with them on a different time. I may take some of the soul family from this life into that life. There are certain family members I have here who we've had non-human lives together. So it's really this like mix of souls that choose to come together into different lives. Your whole soul family isn't going to follow you into a life. And you may choose a life that has less soul family in it because you want to experience that with maybe very different souls, or how connected you want to feel to the souls around you. So on that note, not all souls that come into your space are soul family. Your immediate family may not be your soul family. And I think a lot of people really feel this way, especially nowadays. And in the past, I'm sure. So you might have one family member who is from your soul family, and the rest are other beings that you decided to make contracts with to be in your family. You might have half your family. You might feel super, super connected to your biological family, and they're all in your soul family. It really just depends. You may have dated people from your soul family and dated people from, who are not in your soul family. You might even end up long-term with a partner or partners that aren't from your soul family just because you chose to have that contract with that being, but you might find that maybe your best friend is from your soul family. So there are definitely different types of soul contracts, and I will in the future make a video on soul contracts specifically, because that's a whole amazing topic in and of itself. So yeah, so anyone in your space you've had contracts with, but they're not necessarily all reoccurring soul family members. Another piece of soul contracts or soul family members is that these beings may or may not be in your life long term. So I think a lot of us think like, oh, once you meet your soul family member, like you're gonna like keep doing life together, and that's not necessarily true. I have people I have serious soul family ties with that were only in my life for a short amount of time, and these could be very close on the soul you know, river path, like very close, but our contract was to come into each other's lives for a short amount of time for a specific type of growth, and then we move out because we have different contracts with other souls. So just because someone's in your soul family doesn't necessarily mean it's a lifetime friend. This could be a friend that you had when you were a child and you never saw again. This could be someone you meet, you know, for a few months while you're on vacation. You know, these are all different types of souls, and you've all determined in this current life how you want to interact with each other for each other's specific soul expansion. So when you decide before you come onto the planet how that's going to look, you determine those factors. So the way you kind of can sense soul family is it's very much a feeling. These people will feel like you've known them forever. There is a closeness that you can't really explain, like you've known them for a long time. Now, what's interesting about soul family is obviously because they're coming through a new filter, oftentimes it can be a little jarring. I know I had a past relationship where I felt like I recognized him so intensely, but I didn't recognize the body, and it felt weird to me because most of our lives had been more cosmic and not human. And I remember telling him it felt like I was looking at a suit of armor with like the shield down, but I knew who was inside, but like the outside was so foreign to me. And so it was a very interesting thing. So sometimes soul family can be something that you slowly realize as you get to know each other, but most of the time it's pretty quick. I know one of my soul family members, well, many of them this has happened to, but one, like the most specific, was one of my soul family members, Jonathan or Asarius, and I was working in this shop and he came in and he was there on vacation, and I literally looked across the room and I'm like, I need to be friends with that person. That person feels so familiar to me, and he had the exact same feeling. And we actually ended up meeting 3 years later. We hung out for a few days then because we just felt this draw, and then a few years later, like he'd like just fallen off the map for me, and a few years later we just literally ran into each other, and he's now dating my best friend, and we're all super close. He's like best friends with my partner, and it was crazy because we both just had this like, I know you, I need to be friends with you, like this is so important. And time again, we kept like running into each other on accident, and it was just absolutely crazy. And eventually we're like, well, clearly we're supposed to be friends, and it was really powerful. And he is like one of my closest soul brothers, so it's pretty crazy. So yeah, that feeling of deep connection, that feeling that you like don't really understand, but you just are so drawn to this person. And I will say with soul family, like you got to be aware of the fact that when it comes to soul family, there will be a mutual connection. You may notice that you feel very drawn to someone, and it may be in your soul contract that they don't recognize that. That could be a part of it, but more often than not, a soul family member will recognize you as also that connection. That doesn't mean like in the future because of stuff they decide to leave or things like that, but there will usually be a mutual thing, because I know that there are a lot of people who feel very drawn to maybe certain celebrities or certain people, and you have to be careful of your shadow reasons for feeling drawn to them. It doesn't necessarily mean they're soul family. It just might mean you have a soul contract. So be aware of that the soul family often is very reciprocal in nature. So there are many different levels of soul connection, and I feel like they're kind of like almost like the normal family in your real world. So the first one, first level of connection where you've been together, I would say is soul tribe. So your soul tribe is exactly what it sounds like. Imagine you're in a village and you have your family, but then you have your soul tribe. Maybe they're distant relatives, maybe they're just like close friends. So these are people that you feel very drawn to. You might be on a general similar mission. I know a lot of starseeds kind of feel like that hippie community, that sustainable community. It's like, oh, this is my soul tribe. You can walk in a room of 200 people at an event and go, this is my soul tribe. These are my people. But you may not, on an individual level, have that same deep soul locking connection, but there's more likelihood that your closer soul family is within that group. So then the next level is soul family. So I like to think of these as the people who you just resonate with, you grow together with. This is like your family inside the tribe, so you're going to feel a lot deeper of a connection. So I have it's growing because this is kind of my journey, but I have a smaller group of people that I consider like my soul family. I could talk to them about anything. I feel like we grow from each other's interactions. It's not so much of like a student-teacher relationship, even though we are all teaching each other, and some of us do have more like concrete information. But anytime we have a conversation, it's like, yes, I'm learning from you. This was so meant to be. And there's always a learning. And these are the people I feel most comfortable with, and the people I feel like I could work through my deepest shadow with and feel totally safe. The next level I would say is like soul siblings. So your family is there, it's amazing, but then there's a even smaller group of people who are like soul siblings. So you're like, you are my brother, you are my sister, we're cut from the same cloth. We are so interconnected that we almost feel like the same soul, or that, like I have been 1,000 lives with you. You are just like a part of my deep families. Because I think of soul family as being like, but then like cousins and that like close-knit, maybe a little bit of an extended family piece. And then you've got your soul siblings. And then the last one is like soul twin or same soul. And I almost kind of feel like those are interchangeable. I have a couple soul twins on the planet. The one I'm most closely linked to is my soul sister, Eliza. And we have both identified that we actually believe pretty strongly that we are actually the same soul in two different bodies. And we actually have, in our belief, we connect to two other beings on the planet right now who are in the masculine energy, and I've interacted with all of them, she's interacted with one of them, and we just really feel it on a deep level. And we can understand like why we connected with those beings, what we were supposed to learn with those beings, and so on. So that's what I would say are the 4 levels. It's soul tribe, soul family, soul siblings, soul twins. And you may not have a soul twin on the planet. You may just be, all in one body. If you go to my other video, like I said, about the soul isn't what you think it is, I talk a little bit more about how souls can come into different bodies, how many souls can come into one. So depending on your soul experience, your soul contracts, you may or may not have some of these relationships. And also depending on what your path is, you might have chosen to come into a path that you don't connect with as much as your soul family just because that's your soul experience. So if you don't feel that connection right now, or you have that and, whatever it is, don't feel like you're messed up. Don't feel like there's something wrong with your journey, that you're off. It just might mean that your soul contracts are supposed to be different, and that's totally okay. So to kind of touch back on what I said a minute ago, your soul family also comes down to play out different roles in your life. So as an example, I know my partner, John Michael, I was his husband in a different life and he was my wife. Me and my best friend Marielle, she was my wife and I was her husband, but we were in the elven realm. My mother has been my daughter, my grandmother was my mother, and those relationships are always changing. I personally believe, kind of strange, you might think it's kind of strange, I think it's super normal, but actually my partner's cat was actually that they were humans. My partner and his cat were actually humans together in another past life. So there's a lot of things. I feel like a lot of people who have animals who they consider a familiar, or an animal they have a deep connection with, could have possibly had another life with them in a different way, maybe as animals, maybe as humans, whatever it is, maybe on a cosmic level. So you really can switch up these relationships, kind of like I said, in an acting troupe, where it's all the same actors, but you're always playing different roles and playing out different ways of being together. Another thing to acknowledge, and something I've really started to explore, is the fact that your soul family connections may or may not be in the physical. So I have beings around me that I know in my personal space. They are my friends, lovers, whatever. But then there are also people I've seen on YouTube, or on TV, where I get that same feeling. Now, of course, I can't go to them and say, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. But these are beings I just feel that same draw to. It's not romantic necessarily. It's not necessarily like, oh, I'm definitely gonna meet them. Oh my God, I need to stalk them down. But it's a kind of a soul recognition that I know that being feels very familiar to me, and there is some sort of connection. Now, again, I can't say definitively if they would feel that back, so I'm not saying 100% that's accurate, but I do know the feeling I feel with my current soul family, and so I can recognize that with them. Yeah, there's beings that have passed already. There are beings that are currently on the planet that I feel that with. A couple of them, one is Shane Dawson, another is Michael Jackson, Bruno Mars, and Stephanie Germanotta or Lady Gaga. So these are beings that I just deeply resonate with, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I would be friends with them. I can tell that there's some sort of peace. Now, our contract, if we are soul family members, might just be that that's our connection, that I've only interacted with them through that digital space or through their music. And that soul family member clearly has a lot of soul contracts with many beings on the planet. That's their soul contract to connect with thousands, if not millions of beings. And so maybe it's not on our soul path to connect specifically in real life, but there's that kind of nod to being like, yes, I know you, you do you, you're doing awesome, go for it, and maybe we'll meet one day, maybe we won't, but that's okay. But there is still that kind of acknowledgement that it feels very similar. So when it comes to soul family or soul contracts, there are certain beings that are just going to end up in your life. Most of your soul paths will end up somehow in conjunction with them. That's just how it is. But I would say if you want to meet the most amount of soul family in this life, your best opportunity to do that, the best way to do that is to get authentic, because you are going to naturally resonate with the souls that are closest to you if you're being authentic with your personal soul, because that brings that connection. You're connecting with yourself. So you're going to naturally connect with the beings that are most closely in resonance with your soul. It's all similar frequency. So if you want to meet more soul family, get really honest with yourself. Do your soul work. Do your shadow work. Get out there and pursue the things that really genuinely excite you. And those are the spaces you're probably most likely going to meet your soul family. This is going to look different for different people, depending on your soul. Your soul family might feel very different from mine, and that's totally okay. They're going to be the people you resonate with, and that's really, really magic. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments, have you found your soul family? Have you found your soul tribe? Maybe some of you have found your soul tribe, but not your specific soul family. Let me know what your experience has been. Yeah, I'd love to hear about that. If you haven't found your soul tribe, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to also connect with you on that. And definitely hit the like button and hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And yeah, hit that notification bell because the algorithm can be kind of funky. I also wanted to mention, like, just as like an aside, if you feel you have a soul family connection with someone who's famous, that is not an not an invitation to track that person down. I just wanted to say that at the end there because I know that a lot of YouTubers have really had a hard time with that, where someone will feel this connection with them and they think it's okay to then go to their house. Do not do that. Just because you feel you have a connection with someone doesn't mean their privacy isn't to be honored. So if you feel you have a soul connection with someone, go about it in a healthy way. If they're your soul family and you're meant to meet up, you will. And it might be super random. You might run into them in a space. Who knows? Maybe you'll make a video and they'll see it. Whatever that is, trust that flow. If they're your soul family and you're supposed to connect, you absolutely will, or go about it in a healthy way, like going to one of their meetups or something like that. But definitely respect your soul family. That's super important. So send out the love to them. Send out the love to the soul family you may not know, because it's beautiful. We're all here on the planet. We're all working through stuff. So just send out that love and trust that whoever's supposed to come into your space will absolutely. So much love, you guys. Namaste. And don't forget, it's all about the soul journey. Bye.